Hey everyone, today I will talk about the book I that read. The book is called Miguel Clandestine in Chile. Its author is Gabriel Garcia Marquez. As an introduction, the book narrates who a children filmmaker manages to enter in his country year after Pinochet dictatorship. Since Miguelitin was forbidden to enter Chile because he was a follower of the ideals of Salvador Allende. Miguelitin's main objective was to film the current Chilean situation according to what happened, since many still believe in Allende ideals. Miguelitin had to go through different circumstances. The first was to change his imagined size at that time. He was Uru filmmaker and had to pretend to be Uruguayan filmmaker with European clothes and well recognized around the world. He got full documents and had to change his appearance, his hairstyle, and his way of dressing. He would no longer dress in loose clothes, but would be thinner. Uh, his clothes and even his easy experience and recognizable movement in Chile. In Chile, there was resistance that was clandestine and were people who were fighting, fighting against the government that was still in power of Pinochet. This resistance would help Litin to mobilize during filming. Litin had to be given a fake wife that was in charge of helping to film Miguel in different scenarios planned. After planning everything, Miguelitin got back in Chile and the first step of all the fundamental was to pass through custom and that at the airport didn't recognize him. Elena is her fake wife, will always go after him at any time as she was the one who had communication with the resistance and because she had no fake papers. Um, Also, at that time, he was a curfew. Everyone was in a hurry to get home, and no one realized that Miguel was using fake documents. He wanted to walk, remembering where he had spent most of his life. So before arriving at his hotel in Santiago, he got out of the taxi and way passing by La Moneda, the palace where he was in captivity, and by Chile Films, where he present his fair works, and he wants to do everything to cry for the feeling of want to be Miguel, but it was coming with only one target, and it was experience. Miguel was entering his country with three groups of filming. During the night uh, came someone that Miguel would identify with the name of Gabriel, but the real name was Frankie. He was a film director who worked with Miguel from its inspection. He would help him direct the other filming groups that were with Miguel and make uh, the thought of the group where he would be. They will spend much of the night talking about what these plans will be for the next year of filming. This began with the filming history where each filming group had different regions on Chile where they will film, and only the director of each group knew they were filming in Gracia, who will be the general director with Miguel. Well, they start with Plaza de Armas, an icon of the dictatorship. His purpose was to film naturalities and conversations about who people live. Miguel approached a lady who was the surveillant for almost half an hour. After a few words to break the tension, he asked her of where she was from. She had to tell her about his false nationality. He began secretly filming what the lady told him, what was happening in Chile. Devastated with the lack of work, many graduated people and most become street vendors. The children stole and sold the stolen things to be able to eat. At noon, they heard the bombs making the time, and in the background the sound of Violeta Parra that is called Gracias a la Vida, as a song that for many didn't mean anything, but for Miguel it was a grain of hope in a country camouflaged by dictatorship. The next day, they were clean about the places that will go to the five cardinal points of Chile. The first is Palacio La Moneda, the second is Forest Park, the third is Puente de Mapocho, the fourth is Cerro San Cristobal, and the last is the Church of San Francisco. Before 9 in the morning, they had finished filming in Palacio La Moneda, where they had small shots of the situation of Miguel walking on the square outside in the palace. Signs before the bombing, there was the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. While the cameras moved between the squares and the palace, each carabineros asked him for permission to be able to film. His idea made it easier for Miguel, as he had more confidence. They continued to record Miguel in conversation and movements. He saw different scores, historical articles, and that were no longer clear. Here released he released that after Salvador Allende's died, and he never became the same again. Already making the third take on Puente Mapocho, Miguel began to think whether the nostalgia search that he was doing would do something for young people. Puente Mapocho had seen so much blood and bodies that were taken by the river that he didn't know if it would serve it sometime. He felt a great sadness that he felt the last two places and went to be alone, waiting to escape for 3 days with Frankie. On the night, Frankie and he decided to travel alone to Concepcion. His appearance was already changing, as he had a beard and his hair was growing. They looked for a barber shop, but it was all Odyssey. Since they didn't know the work saw and all came to be unisex, they spent the night in Concepcion. The next day, they went to the park where they had to pass three police checks with had no problem. Came to park where it was a political and emotional furnace of Salvador Allende, where they filmed a little about who the place was. After a few hours, they returned to Santiago. And also, in the next day, they will go filming in a community of what the situation was. They took the surprise that many still saw Salvador Allende as president and who will never cease to be Argentistas. They also saw him as a pillar of woman's right, a person who really fought for dignity and be killing him to away the voice and vote that Allende gave them. Um, the next few days, Miguel meet with people from the resist. They move him to the island where Neruda's house is, and to the different place the resist say as they need more people in case they were discovered. Miguel met Eloisa and she helped him contact a general who was against Pinochet but only managed to find him once Miguel wasn't ready to be in Chile. So they decided to come up with a plan and leave for Argentina with his Chilean ID, and the poor filmmaker appearance as they knew him before and put it on the news so thought Miguel Litin had already left in Chile, went out in newspaper until came Litin film and left. For Pinochet, this was a makery as he was an exile, but he still needed to fill in various places. So Miguel entered by land in Argentina with Euro Uruguayan passport through clandestine places that were not followed by any immigration agents. Miguel returned to Santiago already, had permission to fill in La Moneda. Frankie and Miguel did it for 2 days. The first day they left corner because out of no weather. They were told to stop filming and didn't know why, but it was Pinochet who was going his office finish filming. Um, Miguel commanded the team back so that nothing unsolved, unsolved happened. Frankie and Miguel stayed for more days so that they could try to contact General Electric, but they never answered. The moment came that he had to return to Uruguay. At the time of their return on the road, there was a lot of traffic. The carabineros helped him as they made travel selfies, passed by very famous businessmen, and they helped him to arrive in time. Miguel left Chile, so South remembered it who his exile was, but he also happy that everything had been done and with that given a different face to Chile. Thank you for watching, and it's my summary about the book, and I am here for any questions. Thanks.